Let's go Dolphins! What if I told you that key figures in this franchise, the coach, the quarterback, even one of our biggest stars, might not be part of this team's long-term future? That serious conversations are happening right now that could reveal everything we thought we knew about this team? From questionable play decisions to contract time bombs and silent changes in the quarterback group, this could be the calm before a storm that will change the course of the franchise. I'm going to tell you everything in this video, every whisper, every clue, every move that could turn this roster upside down. But before that, hit the like button if you've ever stuck with us through a bad season. And if you truly love this team, comment below, "Go Dolphins!" My heart beats in aqua and orange. Alright, let's go, because you need to know what's really going on behind the scenes. Now let's get right into it, because what's happening might just change the entire direction of the franchise. The growing sentiment from within Dolphins media is clear. The patience is running out. Mike McDaniel, despite recent wins, is under fire. Critics point to a pattern of procedural mistakes, poor clock management, and baffling play-calling decisions that continue to plague this team week after week. Take this, for example, the Dolphins were up by 8 in the fourth quarter, sitting comfortably at the 11-yard line, and instead of pounding the ball on the ground in pouring rain, they threw it 3 straight times. It's decisions like this that make you question, what's the long-term vision? How could a team so close to greatness keep sabotaging its own chances? And speaking of sabotage, the frustration with Tua Tagovailoa is becoming louder than ever. His inability to extend plays outside the pocket and his physical limitations are seen as the ceiling for Miami's offensive production. Yes, he has moments, but those moments are increasingly being overshadowed by what he can't do. There's a belief that even if Miami had a quarterback with similar throwing ability but with mobility outside the pocket, this team could be fundamentally different and better. As it stands, Tua is likely staying through the 2026 season. But once that contract window opens, the door might be swinging wide open for a new direction. Let's talk wide receivers, because this is another hot topic. Can Jalen Waddle become Miami's new WR1? Absolutely. He's already shown he can carry the load when Tyreek Hill is sidelined, with major performances against teams like the Panthers, Chargers, Bills, and Falcons. But here's where things get complicated. Tyreek Hill has a massive $52.1 million cap hit in 2026. Cutting him post-June 1 saves $36 million, a number that can't be ignored when you need reinforcements across the O-line, D-line, and secondary. The expectation is that with a new GM coming in, the odds of Tyreek returning are slim. Not because he is an elite, but because the business side of football doesn't play favorites. And when it comes to the quarterback situation for the future, brace yourself for this, Miami might not even draft a quarterback in the early rounds. Instead, there's increasing intrigue around Quinn Ewers as a potential QB2 next season. With Zach Wilson likely not returning, Ewers could be groomed under Mike McDaniel's system as a cost-effective backup. Don't be shocked if the Dolphins go this route, especially if they're not ready to completely part ways with Tua just yet. This could mean Miami focuses on depth elsewhere and waits one more year before making a major quarterback move. Now pivoting to the defense, what do you do at cornerback? Only 3 players are under contract next season, Jubrie Brent, Storm Duck, and Jason Marshall Jr. That's not enough. Expect Miami to re-sign someone like Rasul Douglas or Jack Jones on a 1-year deal, pick up a veteran free agent, and draft another cornerback, especially since the Dolphins have 5 picks inside the top 100. It's a clear signal they're gearing up for a defensive reload. Because here's the thing, if we're being honest, what we're seeing right now is not sustainable for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. You can't have a head coach who's still figuring out game management this far into his tenure. You can't have a quarterback who looks lost when the pocket collapses. And you definitely can't be stuck with a top-heavy payroll that ties your hands in free agency. That's a recipe for staying in the wild card round, or worse, missing the playoffs altogether. And the Dolphins know it. That's why the whispers about a possible coaching change are getting louder. Even with wins on the board, many inside the Dolphins community believe Mike McDaniel isn't the guy to take this team all the way. His offensive creativity isn't in question. No one's denying his play designs can be elite. But when it comes to discipline, focus, and making the right call in the clutch, the results speak for themselves. He's still making rookie mistakes, and that's not acceptable when you're trying to compete with the Chiefs, Ravens, or Bills in January. Now, let's flip it back to the draft, because the Dolphins' strategy there could tell us everything about their future. With 5 picks in the top 100, there's a massive opportunity to reload this roster. But not at running back, even if Jeremiah Love is available. That's right, despite him being arguably the most dominant player in the entire draft class at his position, the Dolphins are expected to pass. Why? Because they already have a top 5 back in Devon Achane. Drafting Love would be a luxury pick, and unless Miami plans on trading a chain, which no one wants, it just doesn't make sense. As elite as Love is, the Dolphins have bigger needs. So where do they go with those picks? Expect a heavy focus on the trenches and the secondary. Miami's offensive line continues to be inconsistent, and the defensive front needs more rotational depth and long-term starters. With only 3 corners under contract for next season, expect at least one of those top 100 picks to go to a high-upside defensive back. That's not just smart, it's necessary. You can't keep getting gashed in the secondary and expect to survive playoff-caliber offenses. And let's not ignore the fact that the Dolphins' cap situation is about to force some very tough decisions. Tyreek Hill's $52 million cap hit in 2026 is just the start. With looming contracts and a need to upgrade multiple units, Miami has no choice but to get younger and cheaper at several key positions. That's why restructuring contracts and hitting on draft picks is no longer optional, it's survival. Let's also revisit the quarterback backup situation. The Dolphins' belief in Quinn Ewers as a developmental option is real, and if he slides into that QB2 role next season, it sets up an intriguing scenario. If Tua struggles again and Ewers impresses behind the scenes, the leash could be shorter than ever. And it's worth noting, if McDaniel stays, it's because he's betting that his system can unlock Ewers' potential in a way it hasn't with Tua. That's a risky move, but one the front office might be willing to take, especially with a new general manager likely coming in, ready to put their stamp on the team. And before we wrap this part, don't overlook the ongoing conversation about offensive play calling. Fans are asking, what if McDaniel stopped calling plays and focused solely on being a CEO-style head coach, like Nick Sirianni did in Philly? Could that help with game management and sideline discipline? Maybe, but there's a reason to be skeptical. McDaniel's identity is his play calling. Giving that up could either unlock a new level of leadership or completely unravel what makes him special. The risk is huge, and it's not clear that anyone on staff right now could replicate his creativity with the same precision. So now the big question becomes this: what's the identity of the Miami Dolphins moving forward? Are they a finesse team built on speed and innovation? Or are they willing to evolve into a more balanced, physical contender that can go toe-to-toe with the NFL's elite when the weather turns cold and the lights get bright? And let's not forget one crucial point: the AFC is getting tougher every year. While the Dolphins are trying to figure out their identity, other teams like the Chiefs, Ravens, and even the Texans are already building around proven blueprints. Miami can't afford to keep running in place. The window with this core is closing fast, and unless the front office takes bold steps, like restructuring the roster, making a real commitment to the trenches, and finally solving the quarterback puzzle, they risk wasting the prime years of this explosive offense. The fans know it, the players feel it, and the pressure is now fully on the coaching staff and new GM to make the right calls. So, Dolphins Nation, what's your verdict? Should Miami double down on this current core or hit the reset button while they still have the assets to rebuild quickly? Let me know in the comments.